Hello, 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 hello. I'm just going to keep saying hello a lot because who knows when this thing actually starts making me go live. Hopefully that is now. It looks like it is. I'm just going to pretend that it is. And if anyone's in the chat right now who wants to tell me otherwise, please do. Let me know if this audio is working and if I sound okay. So today we are here to talk about the SAG Awards. They're going to be going live in about 15 minutes. I'm going to be live reacting to them. And as you can see, we have a brand new feature down here at the bottom of the screen. It's just going to be a running ticker of everyone who's won. And hopefully that'll let people who are joining in a bit late get caught up pretty quickly. And hopefully you can read it. We're testing stuff out here in the lead up to the Academy Awards. So hopefully going to kick the tires on a couple of fun things and see what's going on. Let's see here. Just gonna do some rearranging of some stuff. Come on, show me my concurrence. Okay. So while we're getting ready for the SAG Awards to start, I thought it would be a good idea for us to go through the nominees list and see what we think is going to be happening. So we're first going to start off with outstanding performance by a male actor in a leading role. I'm going to be mostly concentrating on the film awards, also touching on the television awards as well, but as this is a film channel, we are chiefly concerned with the film categories. So the first is outstanding performance by a male actor in a leading role. And the nominees for that are Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Gary Oldman for Mank, and Stephen Yeun for Minari. I think in this one it's going to be Chadwick Boseman. He was very good in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and he has the sentimental vote because, of course, he sadly passed away earlier this year. So looking for Chadwick Boseman to take that. Then we have outstanding performance by a female actor in a leading role. The nominees being Amy Adams with Hillbilly Elegy, Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand for Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman. This one is hard to say. I'm fairly sure that Amy Adams is not going to win. I think we can kind of just take her right out of it. And if we go back to the Golden Globes, what's interesting here is that Andra Day won for Best Motion Picture Drama, but she is not nominated. Hello, Dory. How are you doing? Good to see you again. So we're then left with a big question mark because we don't really know who is going to come out of this category. I think that Vanessa Kirby is potentially going to take it, but Pieces of a Woman, as far as I can tell, has not been seen as much. It's not out there in the conversation as much. Was that you, cat? Are you meowing? Do you want to say hello to everybody? Why don't you come up here and lay down? Apologies for the cat cameos. They will likely be plentiful if my cat is going to be a little jerk, which I fear he might be. What are you doing? Okay. So yes, I think Vanessa Kirby might take this because she was very good in Pieces of a Woman, but it's probably Frances McDormand for Nomadland. Be nice to see Carey Mulligan pull it up for Promising Young Woman, but I don't think that's going to happen. Next, we have outstanding performance by a male actor in a supporting role. And the nominees for this are Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of Chicago 7, Chadwick Boseman for To Five Bloods, Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah, Jared Leto for The Little Things, and Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami. My guess here is that Sacha Baron Cohen wins. I believe he won the Golden Globe for this category. Chadwick, I don't really think has a chance in this category. I don't even believe he was nominated for the Golden Globes. And that's not to say that the Golden Globes are any real indicator on anything other than how the Hollywood Foreign Press feels about something at any given time. But, you know, they're a conversation starter. And looking at the rest of these, Jared Leto, I haven't really heard anything about his performance or really anything said about the little things at all. So I'd be surprised if that won. And having not seen Judas and the Black Messiah, I can't speak to Daniel Kaluuya's performance in that. And apologies for ruining your name. My mouth always gets very dry when I start going live. So for that one, I'm going to say Sacha Baron Cohen. And then we move on to outstanding performance by a female actor in a supporting role. And here we have Maria Bakalova for Borat, Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman for The Father, Yun Jin Yun for Minari, and Helena Zengel for News of the World. Helena Zengel, no. Olivia Colman, maybe. I have not seen Minari, so it's hard to say about that. Glenn Close in Hillbilly Elegy is interesting since we know that Glenn Close has a long history of being shafted by awards. So maybe this is her year. And I think if she did have a shot at the Oscar as a sentimental favorite, she would have to win this. So this is going to tell us a lot about Glenn Close's chances for the Oscars, as will a lot of these. There's not always one-to-one with the SAG Awards to the acting awards. But it does give us a sense of how the acting wing of the Academy is feeling right now. So Maria Bakalova did win at the Golden Globes. So let's put her down as a favorite for now and see what happens. Although I'm wondering if Glenn Close pulls this out. And the other thing we have to remember too is that Hillbilly Elegy is not good. So that may that may work against her as well. And then we have the outstanding performance by a cast in a motion picture, which is an interesting category because we know that it doesn't really have any kind of one-to-one relationship to the acting awards in the Oscars. But Parasite did win the outstanding performance by a cast in a motion picture last year and then went on to win Best Picture. So can we see this as potentially a bellwether for who wins Best Picture at the Oscars? That's a possibility. So with that in mind, the nominees here are Da 5 Bloods, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Minari, One Night in Miami, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. And when it comes to this kind of excuse me while I just retweet something. Rocco, what's the matter? Oh God, just bit his own tail. It's nice to know that occasionally I'm not the stupidest person in this apartment. Come hang out, he says on Twitter. By the way, I don't think I've ever really mentioned this, but you can see I have handles for Twitter and for Letterboxd down here in the corner. So come follow, and you can see my mini reviews on Letterboxd and other stuff that I do on Twitter. Although weirdly, my Cinemateq Twitter feed is like way more political than my normal one because of some of the critics I follow. So it feels less like a film Twitter account than anything else. Anyways, outstanding performance by cast in a motion picture. Also, hello Nick, welcome. Always good to see you. We've got Da 5 Bloods, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Minari, One Night in Miami, and The Trial of Chicago 7. I think out of all 5 of these, The Trial of the Chicago 7 is probably going to take it. And I say that because in categories like this, I always tend to lean towards the film that has the most. And I think like The Trial of Chicago 7, we know it has a couple of very good performances in it. It does have Sacha Baron Cohen nominated. The only outlier here to me is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom because there are 2 categories for Chadwick Boseman and for Viola Davis where The Trial of Chicago 7 only has 1. And in the same way, Minari has 2 as well. But I just feel like The Trial of Chicago 7 plays more like an ensemble piece. Like a lot of characters are on screen all the time because it is a trial movie and they're always interacting with each other. So I think that might actually give it a push, but we will have to wait and see. My money though would be on The Trial of Chicago 7, although I wouldn't be surprised if Ma Rainey's Black Bottom or Minari did win. And then we have outstanding performance by a stunt ensemble in a motion picture. And for that, we have Da 5 Bloods, Mulan, News of the World, The Trial of Chicago 7, and Wonder Woman 1984. And this is one that I pass to you, dear viewers, because I have no no idea whatsoever. Thinking of the trial of Chicago 7, the stunt work is essentially people getting beaten up by cops. The Five Bloods, a lot of Vietnam War action sequences in that, and obviously action sequences from the present day. Mulan would make a lot of sense considering the choreography and the fact that it's out of all five of these, and as well as Wonder Woman, it's like an action film. But yeah, this is one that I just I really don't know about. Thinking back to Wonder Woman 1984, like I know that there are stunts in it, but nothing really stands out as being special to me. Although that's essentially Wonder Woman 1984 encapsulated. So yeah, I'm not sure what to think about that one. And then we got the awards starting in about 4 minutes. By the way, you are going to be able to hear the audio from the awards. It'll be pretty low in the mix, and obviously I'm not going to be showing the video for it because that would be highly illegal. But since I'm going to be watching it, the audio is going to bleed through, so can't do really much about that. Um, and yeah, there are a whole bunch of other awards, but those are for television and limited series. So for the people who are watching now, which I assume is Nick and Dory and a mysterious and two mysterious other people who are not in the chat, what are your thoughts about the awards? Like, do you have any instincts? Do you think it's going to go any particular way? And also, how many crazy random people, and when I say crazy random people, I mean real cool people, how many people do you think are going to end up watching this with us? Because I feel like people invariably go to YouTube and they're like trying to find pirate streams, and then they find us, the people who show up early. Those are the people that, like, you guys are my people. And then everyone else who joins are like, oh, this is cool. And they stick around, which is always fun. But yeah, I, I've given my predictions, but once again, I think just because of how this past year has gone with films, it's hard to pick a clear winner because we don't like the field just doesn't feel as strong. Like, yeah, Dory, you're right. We contenders, anything can happen. That does seem to be how this is going to play out. Um, so I was just gonna have to wait and see. But it's a difficult one. The only slam dunk is Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. If I was a betting man, and I'm not, that would be how I go. All right, we got 2 minutes left. Let's make sure that this feed is working properly. Yes, it is. Okay, so how's everyone's weekend been? How you doing? Have you watched anything? Have you caught all of the Oscar films? I did see on Friday that TIFF Digital added the short film categories for the Oscars to their selection, and you get a discount, I believe, if you rent all three of them. It's like 6 hours worth of short films. So I'm going to be watching those hopefully throughout the week. And if I can get my button gear, I think I'm actually going to try to release a YouTube short for each one of the Oscar categories. That will be difficult to pull off because I still have a lot of Oscar films left to watch. But if I can start with those short film ones and then kind of work my way through, I think I can make it work. Although it's a lot of short videos in such a short amount of time. But we can do it. We can do it. Dory thinking the other slam dunk is Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Priest, which I think is interesting. I don't really consider that category a slam dunk for anybody, mostly because Sacha Baron Cohen is in there for the Trial of Chicago 7, and I believe he did win for the Golden Globes. I have listed nominees here, but yeah, the website for the Golden Globes is not wonderful. Oh, it's so bad, actually. Why is the Golden Globes just bad at everything? So Nick thinks that Maria Bakalova is gonna take one of the awards. She's a shoo-in, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean that makes sense if the Golden Globes are any indication. And Dory's saying he saw all of the Academy Award nominations except short films. Very nice. I'm gonna be doing that as well. I'll be catching up to you eventually at one point. Should be going a lot faster. I don't even. Okay, so I did watch Kong Skull Island, and it's like we're ready to go with this. I did watch Kong Skull Island and King Kong versus Godzilla the other day. Interesting films. So we're doing a Ted Lasso opening, and let me know how the audio is and how the mix is. Oh wait, there we go. You should now be hearing a little bit of the awards, but of course you'll be able to hear me more because that is the most important thing.
Oh, what about the lost generation of 1920s Paris?
Oh, good call, Keely. No, that's a good group right there. Yeah.
I do need to watch this show. I've heard very good things about it. I have a whole group chat where every time someone brings up Ted Lasso, they're just like, "Oh, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good." It's like everybody. It's everybody. Ooh. Someone loves the Muppets.
Hey, Jamie, what you doing here?
I really what am I supposed to do as someone reacting this? The vodka in the jam jar, Nick? Could you imagine? Could you imagine how fucked I would be by the end of this? My god. I mean,
Gentlemen and lady, we all know that the
are you going to have a Mortal Kombat watch party? Dory, that is an excellent idea. I was thinking about doing a Kong versus a Godzilla watch party, but I don't know. Just didn't do it. And I think also it came out on the Thursday, whereas I think Mortal Kombat's coming out on the Friday. I just need to check when Mortal Kombat's actually coming out, but I think a Mortal Kombat watch party would be a lot of fun. What is going on here? All right, it looks like the award show is actually starting now. By the way, this award show is only going to be an hour long. So I have no idea how fast any of this is going to be happening. I mean, it's going to be going very fast. I believe there's 15 awards and it's only an hour long, so we're probably going to be like rattling through these things real quick. So right now we're just doing a montage of all of the nominated films. I was also just quickly looking through the TV nominations for this, and some of these categories are pretty funny. Like outstanding performance by a female actor in drama series, it's 3 people from The Crown and 2 people from Ozark. It's almost like in some of these categories there's like one show and nothing else, which is kind of hilarious.
It's revolution time.
Oh, of course.
I like that.
Strong boy.
Thank you.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Nick, my thoughts on Godzilla versus Kong. I don't know. I think my expectations of it going in were not the right expectations to have a positive viewing experience of it. Kind of because it was directed by Adam Wingard, I was expecting it to be maybe not a different film, but just created at a higher quality. And I thought that maybe it would somehow fix a lot of the issues that people have generally had with the last few films in the MonsterVerse series, and that didn't happen. So I'm kind of lukewarm on it, to be totally honest with you. I did really like the fight scenes in Hong Kong, though. I didn't know why everything was a neon light. Like it was almost like they were fighting inside of a Tron game. I don't know. But yeah, it was okay. Dory, you saw Lola 1981 and Boogie 2021 this weekend. Recommended? Did you like those?
I'm a dirty old lady.
So we're doing yet another montage of a bunch of actors, none of whom are nominated. Oh, Riz Ahmed, there he is. There's one.
I'm Jimmy Fallon, and I am an actor.
I think they're just going through a whole bunch of people and being like, hello, okay, so male actor in a television thing. So we're doing male lead TV, Ethan Hawke as a nominee. Got Hugh Grant for The Undoing. I have a feeling these are going to go very fast. Dory, you loved Lola and hated Boogie. Who directed Lola? I have a feeling I've either seen that movie. We also have Daveed Diggs for Hamilton being nominated. Mark Ruffalo for I Know This Much Is True.
Impeccably portrays the struggle of chronic mental illness.
How's your business, huh? How are we gonna prevent the baby to God? We have no respect for human life.
Oh, Mark Ruffalo played 2 roles in that. And also Bill Camp is nominated for The Queen's Gambit. So, now we find out the first winner of the evening in a category that as a film channel we are not that concerned with. Male actor, yeah.
And the actor goes to...
And the actor goes to Mark Ruffalo. So that should now update down below. Mark Ruffalo. All right. Technology works, baby. Yes, Fassbender did do Lola. I'm not entirely sure if I've seen Lola or not, but I think I have. I think I saw it at a screening at the Royal in Toronto. We've got 6 people watching now. Welcome, everyone. We're doing a live reaction of the SAG Awards. Mark Ruffalo just won for Best TV Actor in a Drama Limited Series or TV Movie. We are most concerned about the film categories here because this is a film channel. But those are going to be coming up a bit later. Best part is we are only going to be on here for an hour. So it's going to be quick, it's going to be well produced, and we're just going through it. So now, I think... Uh-oh. Oop. So yeah, I think what we're doing here structure-wise is that we have a few actors talking about the video, or talking about the TV shows or the movies, and then we get to the nominees. It's actually fairly clean. And I also like this how they're Helen Mirren talking about Pen 15. That's exactly what we need in quarantine. Or maybe not quarantine, depending on where you are. Quarantine if you are in Toronto, because our government is bad. One thing I will say about these little about these little vignettes, there needs to be a bit less. Like maybe we could have done this as a 45-minute or half-hour show if we really tried. Because there's just nothing here. Like, I don't know what to say to this. Common is on screen now. Hello, Common. Hello, Mindy Kaling. How are you? Nick asking if I saw anything at Fantasia this year. I did not. But there are a couple of people... Oh, wait, hold on. I'll get to that. I'll get back to that in a second. So we got Anya Taylor-Joy here, nominated for The Queen's Gambit. We are doing female actor in a television series, limited series, or TV movie. Michaela Cole for I May Destroy You. I've heard a lot of good things about this show. I feel like maybe I need to check it out. Once again, everyone, thank you for stopping by. Please make sure to get in the chat and say hello. We also have Miss America, Kate Blanchett, nominated.
You don't know their strength until they get into hot water.
Nicole Kidman, nominated for The Undoing. That was an HBO series.
Is intricate and elegant.
You're not my husband.
Did they just give away the ending of that show? Kerry Washington from Little Files Everywhere, also nominated. I have not heard of this show. So female actor in a television movie or limited series. The award goes to Anya Taylor-Joy for The Queen's Gambit. I think we were all pretty sure that was going to happen.
First of all, just thank you for your performances. I'm so unbelievably honored to
The thing-
be even in this room, even though it's
The
not
thing that I don't get,
coincidental, but you know what
and I don't get a lot of things, to be fair,
it was
is that, like,
such a privilege
these
to
actors
think that I
know
was get
that they're going to be on television, and that, you know, and even if you look at Anya Taylor-Joy right now, she has done her hair, she has done her makeup, she has done her makeup. Uh, she's wearing what I can only assume is a very expensive dress with a nice necklace, and she's coming through on Zoom with a 720p absolute crap webcam. Like, if I have access, and it looks like she's in a hotel room as well, so maybe that's the reason, and she couldn't get anywhere to have a better camera. But like, up your camera game. I was able to do it. Look at this. Look at how good I look now. Look at how much more detail on this face that you can see. Okay, I'm gonna be muting the commercials, so there won't be any music copyrights or things like that, hopefully, on this. Fingers crossed. So Nick, going back to what you were asking about Fantasia this year, I did not see anything at Fantasia, but occasionally on these live streams, we have people in the chat join us from a film news site, film blog. They do reviews. It's called The Underscene. And so usually it's... on Jesus, I think I may have had a bit too much alcohol this weekend, my friends. We have Andres join us in the chat. And he and his team of people at the Underscene were doing Fantasia, and they also did, it was either Sundance or South by Southwest that just happened, and they had a lot of good coverage as well. So we're not like connected officially, but we like to help each other out, I think. If they do podcasts, I might be appearing on one of their podcasts, maybe. Who knows? Nothing's finalized yet. So yeah, you have that as an option. So if you want to see some just good opinions on Fantasia, check out The Underscene. And just good film opinions all around. They do good work over there. Did you see anything at Fantasia, Nick? That is the next logical question to have. I'm trying to think of what came out of Fantasia and if there was anything of note, and even for South by Southwest and Sundance. I don't know. I've been out of the loop on that stuff this year. Too much vodka. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. We heard from Dory that Dory saw Lola and Boogie this weekend. For the people watching, what did you watch this weekend? Anything good? Anything incredible? Anything amazing? Just gonna try one thing here quickly. So if I do, okay, then I can just do that. Cool. The less buttons I have to press, the easier this whole thing becomes. And are we coming back? And we are back from commercial.
He's prickly, sour, melodramatic, but yet...
So we're doing male actor in a comedy series, Daniel Levy. And of course I'm cheering for him. Canadian show. Gotta do it. Jason Sudeikis in Ted Lasso. Nick, you're the closing night film at Fantasia. What was the name of the film? I guess I could just go find out what the closing night film at Fantasia was, but yo, let us know. I'd love to go check it out. Next nominated is Nicholas Hoult for The Great.
Do you mean touche?
But is it not touche?
No. Touche.
Is it not touche? That was I don't know why I find that funny. We've got Eugene Levy for Schitt's Creek. Let's see.
Now that's a framer.
You just deleted it.
What's that?
Rami Youssef is...
Rami Youssef for Rami, also nominated.
...through his eyes and make you laugh hysterically at the same time.
Wished one of my parents.
I really like how we didn't get a very long preamble into this. I just came back from commercial.
There's always like that kid in school who like, oh, his dad died, and he had kind of like an edge.
Oof.
And the
Okay.
actor goes to
And the actor goes to
Jason Sudeikis, Ted Lasso.
Jason Sudeikis. I'm just gonna fully misspell his last name. Dory also saw Treasure of Sierra Madre for the first time this week and loved it. That is a damn fine film, and I'm sorry, Jason Sudeikis, for talking over you. Also really cool, Jason Sudeikis is wearing a My Body, My Choice sweater, which is something that this channel also believes and agrees with. Yeah, Treasure of Sierra Madre is great. And if you listen to the podcast, The Last Picture Show, they did a pairing of The Treasure of the Sierra Madre with The Five Bloods, both films where a group of people try to get, you know, gold or money or whatever it is, and then their relationships start breaking down because of the money. But it's an interesting way of thinking about both the films and comparing the two. Always recommend the hell out of that podcast. The Next Picture Show is wonderful. So now we're doing a little bit of a comedy thing, talking about things that the actors had to do. Dan Levy apparently had to move back with his parents. I feel so sorry for him.
Highs and lows.
The NBA has been good. Got a chance to see the excellence of a game well played, but they didn't sort of eschew everything.
So Nick's movie, For the Sake of Vicious, we released this month through Epic Pictures, limited theatrical on April 17th, goes over to VOD and Blu-ray. You gotta check it out. I will do that as soon as I possibly can.
Acquired the skill of being a terrible cook. I tried baked goods. I tried.
Dan Levy, you were a bad cook. That's shameful.
I'm so excited to see a bear. But then, of course, you know, you can't allow bears to get too familiar with human beings because they are wild animals. So,
And Dory also saw a film called Machine That Killed Bad People. I'm curious. Always curious about films where the title is also the premise. I want to know what kind of machine this is. In my mind, I can only picture a wood chipper and bad people just being thrown into the wood chipper. The entire film is just that person being tossed out in very small pieces. Okay, next one. Female actor in a comedy series. Christina Applegate is nominated. Catherine O'Hara for Schitt's Creek. Catherine O'Hara, excuse me. She just based on the clips here, she looked kind of goth in that show. Kelly Kuko for The Flight Attendant. Is that how you say her last name? Kuko? Kuko. Kuko. Annie Murphy in Schitt's Creek.
Like that time you showed up to Kate Winslet's wedding a month late.
The calligraphy was hard to read, and Billy Zane also did the same thing, David.
Linda Cardellini in Dead to Me. I love Linda Cardellini. I wish she was in like way more stuff. She's just wonderful.
He's a journalist now.
All right, and the actor goes to Catherine O'Hara. Woo!
Thank you, SAG-AFTRA members, for watching our show and for placing me in the company of these uniquely and consistently funny women. I share this with Eddie Murphy. I'm flattered anyone
shares it with Eddie Murphy. I don't even know what that means. The Machine That Killed Bad People was made by Roberto Rossellini. What? Roberto Rossellini made a film called The Machine That Killed Bad People? The man who did Rome Open City? I was actually just walking by a store, like in a different neighborhood, but not so far from my place, and there was a poster for a film that Rossellini did with Ingrid Bergman, probably part of the trilogy that they did. But then you're telling me that he did something called Machine That Killed Bad People. Oh man! So ensemble comedy series: The Great, The Flight Attendant, Dead to Me, Ted Lasso, and Schitt's Creek. Now we're starting to do it. Now we're getting the pace up a little bit, which is nice. Schitt's Creek is the winner, which I don't think is a surprise to anybody.
Oh man, okay, well, first of all, to get to share this award with my brilliant sister and my incredible...
Still can't believe that. Roberto Rossellini. Machine That Killed Bad People. I need to look into that.
For this insane honor, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the rest of this incredible ensemble of actors who made comedy look absolutely effortless.
This is also strange the way that they have the Zoom call set up. I don't know, maybe all of these people are connected. Oh, okay. These people are connected. It just seemed like there was a group of random people in the Zoom call. Maybe they have different Zoom calls for each category, but that seems like it would be a pain in the ass. For those of you who are just joining us, all of the winners are being updated down below in the ticker. We've only done a few television awards so far. We haven't done any of the film ones, which is what we are the most interested in. So currently we're getting a speech from the head of SAG-AFTRA, I'm guessing. She has a bottle of champagne in the background, so she's getting ready to party. Not like we're partying, though, with all of this vodka. Real vodka. For those of you who are just joining in, let me know how your weekend's going, and let me know if you watched any films this weekend and what you thought about them. Have you seen all of the Oscar-nominated films yet? Because I haven't, but I'm going to. I'm working my way through it. I just watched a few days ago that George Clooney sci-fi movie that Netflix did. That was not good. That was not good at all.
Singing, guitar, and it says all sports.
So now I guess Jimmy Fallon's doing something.
Yeah.
He's good at all sports.
I said all sports. I would always list juggling as a thing. And
so I guess we're talking about actors' resumes and how they lie about them. Nick asking how much of this award show is in person or is it all Zoom? The entire thing is pre-recorded, except for the Zoom calls. So now we're going through like Sterling K. Brown and Jimmy Fallon, and Riz Ahmed was just on, and now we have Cynthia Erivo on screen, and it's just pre-recorded interviews that they've cut together. So I guess this is meant to show us like what they do. This particular segment is meant to show us what they do, or what additional skills they have beyond acting, or things that they can incorporate into acting.
I absolutely cannot ride a horse. Well, there's two
Excuse me. See, now we know for sure that Helen Mirren can't ride a horse, and that's why these award shows are so important. Because I, potentially, would have thought that Helen Mirren could ride a horse, but she can't.
Guitar, harmonica. Harmonica. I couldn't really play.
Jimmy Fallon, can you play a harmonica? Ooh, he can't. Scandal of the evening. Jimmy Fallon probably can't play the harmonica.
Because I'd attended a couple of classes as like an 8-year-old kid. So technically, you know,
I like that. Riz Ahmed saying that he knows how to do judo because he did some lessons as a kid. That means I could put karate on my resume if I ever become an actor. Alright, looks like we're going to be going to a commercial. Yes, I was correct. Hello, Kat. How are you doing? Are you enjoying this live stream so far? You look really comfortable. So... how's everyone doing? You doing okay? Yeah, I don't know if I should go more into that George Clooney film. The one, I think it's only nominated for one Oscar, the best Oscar for visual effects. But man, that thing was weak. Dory, I believe since you've seen everything except the short films, you would have seen this as well. I'd be interested to know what your thoughts were on it, but it was just a big mess. Just a big mess. I think it was getting to the point where I was starting to wonder if they had just done it a bit more poorly, could we start considering it on the same kind of level as The Room? Like the most expensive version of The Room, just because of how ridiculous the whole thing was. Oh no, did my stream just die? What's going on here? Don't do this to me, Global. Oh, by the way, if you're watching this in Canada, it's being streamed on Global. If you're watching elsewhere, I have no idea where it's being shown. Okay, we're back. Everything's fine. Nothing's broken. Hopefully. Ugh. Yeah, I can't even remember what the name of that George Clooney space movie is. It's just so unremarkable and bad. It's just a bad movie. And one of the things that just kills me is that like part of the premise of it is that an astronomer in the future found out that there was a whole ass other moon orbiting around Jupiter that could sustain human life. What? Like, I know that we can't see very much of the sky and we don't observe much of the sky, but we have been training telescopes at Jupiter for a while. We know all the moons, especially ones that are large enough to be able to hold onto an atmosphere. It's a terrible way to start a film when it's just like objectively like not true. It's a not true thing. You can't just say there's another moon around Jupiter and then continue on with your film. It's a bad foundation to begin with. And there's lots of other things that they do that I would consider to be a bad foundation. It's almost like they knew where their little issues were in terms of like story. Like they could almost hear like CinemaSins or a YouTube channel just picking it apart. So anything that felt like someone could take issue with it, they just put in a little line that described why it was okay. And it made me wonder if maybe they should have just redone the whole thing. So now we're doing something with Ted Danson. Oh, he's married to that actress. Don't remember her name. Oh, Dory's saying the SAG Awards are on TBS in America. Thank you, Dory. Dory also saying that George Clooney's film was okay. The most expensive version of The Room is Cats 2019. Yes, you are right. You are right about that. Nick asking, bad in what way? Directing, writing, and acting? All bad? Yeah, directing and writing certainly. The acting, I think the acting was as good as it could be considering what they were working with, but it's just not good. It's easily the low point of George Clooney's career from a directing standpoint. I'm not sure how much he had to do with the writing of it, but it's just not good. Oh, Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of Chicago 7 because we are at a film award. Supporting actor.
I call this portion of the trial with friends like these.
Chadwick Boseman for Da 5 Bloods.
And affection of his fellow characters and the audience.
It was an accident.
Jared Leto's transformation.
Jared Little in The Little Things.
Only convincing.
I love that line. Jared Leto was very convincingly able to play a serial killer. Like, no shit, the guy's super creepy.
Magnetic and impassioned, Daniel Kaluuya gives
Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah. Why can I not say his name correctly? This is where we find out how much of a slam dunk he was. I still think it's Sacha Baron Cohen. So Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami. I think that's all of them. Yep. All right. And the actor goes to... Tell me, Cynthia Erivo. Daniel Kaluuya. Oh my god, I was wrong.
Thank you so much. Thank you, SAG, man, for this honor, man. I share this light with all the nominees. Like everyone that was part of making Judas and the Black Messiah. Man, you can't make a film without an incredible group of people that come together.
Am I spelling his name correctly? It doesn't seem like I am.
You know what I'm saying? So that goes
Good thing it's written down on the internet somewhere.
Jermaine Fowler and all the like incredible day
I was spelling it correctly. Hey, I'm not just a pretty face. Mostly a pretty face, though. Mostly a pretty face.
2 years later. This one's for Chadwick Boseman, and this one's for Chairman Fred.
Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say about the about that particular film that George Clooney directed. Ooh, female actor supporting role. Yoon Jun Yoon. Yoon Jung Yoon. Thank you for correcting me. That is Minari.
Already at age 12,
Helena Zengel from News of the World. 12 years old. And a powerful force, according to the person who's introducing this. Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy. Ugh. Yeah, I guess we get to find out now if Glenn Close has a chance at the Oscar.
Be happy. Do good.
The only thing that requires more courage
Maria Bakalova for Borat.
Thank you again for giving me this.
Of course they show the Rudy Giuliani clip. Olivia Colman for The Father as well. Female actor in a supporting role. Who gets it? Who gets it?
You keep changing your mind. How do you expect people to keep up?
There's never been any question of me living in Paris.
Who is going to win? I think it's Baklova, but it's going to. Oh, Youngdun Yoon from Minari. Yo, she is shocked. This is interesting.
I don't know how to describe my feelings.
She doesn't know how to describe her feelings.
It is very, very
Yeah. Wow.
especially by
I actually don't know if that was if she was an odds-on favorite, but that seems like a surprise.
very pleased and happy and
Wild times, everybody. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I think she's a little flustered. Like, I don't think she was expecting to win. Much like the rest of us.
Glenn, Klaus, Maria, and everybody. Thank you.
No, that's pretty cool.
We have endured a year of too much loss.
It looks like Viola Davis is going to be sad for a minute and lead us through a sad minute recounting how bad 2020 was.
To those of us who knew them, but to audiences all around the world who were moved by their work, may the joy they brought to all of us live on. We will miss you, and we will never forget you.
We're doing the in memoriam now. Cloris Leacham. Who's Cloris Leacham? Thomas Jefferson Bird. Carl Reiner. Don Wells. Jeanette Dubois. Shirley Knight. Max von Sydow. Oof. Joyce Gordon. Ian Holm. I forgot about that. Conchata Farrell. Irfan Khan. Irfan Khan. Naya Rivera. Hal Holbrook. Oh, Hal, yeah. Yafet Koto. That was very recent. John Carlin. Henry Darrow. Warren Bellinger. Red Willard. Oh. Oh. Jerry Stiller. Natalie Desselle-Reed. Kelly Preston. Lyle Wagner. Zoe Caldwell. Kelly Nakahara. Anne Renking. Richard Hurd. Tommy Tiny Lister Jr. John Saxon. I saw him live once. Diana Rigg. Ben Cross. Olivia de Havilland. Brian Dennehy. Brian Dennehy, so good. Sean Connery. George Segal. Robert Conrad. Honor Blackman. Gregory Sierra. Tanya Roberts. David L. Lander. Christopher Plummer. Mark Bloom. Deezer D. Mac Davis. Bruce Kirby. Lynn Cohen. Orson Bean. Kevin Dobson. Dustin Diamond. Oh wow, yeah. Jessica Walter. That was very recent. Nick Cordero. Peter Mark. I missed last name. Wilford Brimley. Cecily Tyson. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Kirk Douglas. I saw a film that he did recently that was very good. Chadwick Boseman. What was that Kirk Douglas movie? So good. It was on the Criterion Channel. Alright, so that's the in memoriam. Ending with Chadwick Boseman, rightly. We've got 9 people here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SAG Awards reaction. We have the award winners listed in the ticker below. Please let me know who you think is going to be winning in some of these categories and what your feelings are about them in the chat. Say some stuff. Say hello. We'd love to hear from anyone new who's joining us. So going back to chat, speaking of which, we got Dory saying, I have a conspiracy theory on the set of Ocean's 11. Clooney, Damon, and Pitt had a secret bet who can make the most outer space movies. So far, Clooney is leading the race. Oh my god. If that's like the sole reason why Brad Pitt did Ad Astra, I'd be fine with that. Matt Damon doing what? Interstellar and The Martian. George Clooney doing that one that's on Netflix. He did Gravity. What other space movies has Clooney done? George Clooney really watched Interstellar once and said, "Yeah, I bet I can do that too." Honestly, yeah, it's kind of close. That's kind of something I can believe in. Clooney should be handing out free Nespressos before you watch this yawn fest to stop you from falling asleep. Yeah. Also, a valid criticism of that film. It is so just uninteresting, and also like, I don't want to spoil the ending, so I won't tell you exactly what happened in it, but just the way that it ends and what we're left with, it's not an inspiring thing. It's not a good thing. It's just like, I don't understand why the film needs to exist. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh, that's right. George Clooney also did Solaris. We have Zhao Zhang joining us. Apologies if I pronounced your name wrong. If you could put it phonetically in the chat, I will say it properly. My only hope is Carrie will win tonight to lock her Oscar. Yeah, it's an interesting category. I don't know what to think of it. I want to say that Viola Davis probably wins for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, but Carrie Mulligan also gave a very strong performance. And if you've seen Promising Young Woman, you know, it can be tough to act when someone puts a pillow on your face. So, you know, there's a lot of good things that she did in that role. Nick saying, don't forget about the Tom Cruise flick that's actually going to film in space with Elon Musk. Oh, I do not forget about that. I'm fairly certain that Tom Cruise is just trying to figure out ways to die. So let's see. Female actor in a drama series, Emma Corrin for The Crown. We are back, in case you couldn't tell. And hello to everyone who's just joining us. Gillian Anderson for The Crown, also nominated. This category is entirely The Crown and Ozark. It's hilarious.
One by one.
Of course, Gillian Anderson will win this because she is the best. Olivia Colman, The Crown, also nominated.
To you, the Commonwealth is something of a distraction, a waste of time. But in many ways, I have given my life to it.
I don't know a lot of people.
Julia Garner for Ozark, also nominated.
Like Julia Garner when she's playing Ruth Langmore.
Jia Sang, supporting actress, has been all different for Golden Globes Critics' Choice and SAG. Yep. Laura Linney for Ozark, also nominated. Yeah, I think something that we were talking about earlier is that this award season's all over the place because it's a bit of a weaker year. So the winner is Gillian Anderson, of course. Once again, it's so hilarious seeing like Gillian Anderson, like, makeup done, beautiful red dress, amazing necklace, and it's a 720p webcam that looks like shit. Pandemic's been wild, y'all.
Helena Bonham Carter and Tobias Menzies and Josh O'Connor and Aaron Doherty and Marion Bailey and Charlie Edwards and of course Stephen Boxer, my very own DT.
I feel like I do need to watch The Crown, if only to see Gillian Anderson play a woman that I truly despise, because she so rarely plays people that I hate.
Multidimensional roles for all of us actors to sink our teeth into and win awards for, and thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
No, thank you, Gillian. Oh, it sounds like we're gonna do a segment about their headshots. Oof. These are the things that I don't really care about. Like Josh Gad talking about his headshot. I don't care. I just don't care. I know they're just trying to fill up time to get this thing to an hour, but we're already 40 minutes in and there's still a fair amount of categories left to do, right? How many have we got left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we still have like 7 or 8 of these things to do in 20 minutes. Like we must be burning through them in the last like 20 minutes.
Thanks, Helen. That was a terrible idea.
Good God. The comedy stylings of Jimmy Fallon. Do you want to be depressed? What happened to this kid from
The photo of Jimmy Fallon being a lot younger is pretty hilarious.
parted in the middle like a
It is true. He just said that he looks like he's from the 50s, and yeah, that's pretty right on. Maybe Jimmy Kimmel is actually 70 years old, so it would make sense, but probably not. All right, male actor in a drama series. Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul nominated.
Turns an unsympathetic Weasley con man into a sympathetic Weasley con man.
Best male actor drama. There we go.
Tell the real Prince Charles.
Josh O'Connor, The Crown.
He's now who I see when I picture Prince Charles.
Thanks to you, people are laughing in my face, booing the heir to the throne, booing the crown.
Sterling K. Brown for This Is Us. I just hope that Sterling K. Brown wins. I don't even care about this category, and I've never seen This Is Us, but he's great. Reggie John Page for Bridgerton.
He's intense, and you just can't take your eyes off.
Dory, I'll probably stay on a bit later after the stream, but I'm reading a good book, and I gotta get into that before I go to bed. Jason Bateman in Ozark also nominated. Dr. David saying Yun Yun Jun, supporting actress, Carey Mulligan actress, Chadwick actor, Defy Bloods ensemble. Well, we already know that Yun Yun Jun won supporting actress, so you're right there.
Actor goes to Jason Bateman, Ozark.
And the award goes to Jason Bateman in Ozark.
Thank you. Thank you to SAG-AFTRA.
Male actor, drama series. Yep.
And my team, my family, the writers of Ozark, the cast, the crew, who I'm going to be able to thank in person tomorrow.
Looks like Zhao is agreeing with Dr. David.
The biggest thank yous go to the healthcare workers that have tended.
And yeah, I think that's pretty safe. Defy Bloods for ensemble. I don't know. I think that's going to be Trial of the Chicago 7. But Defy Bloods, it's good. It's definitely a good ensemble. I would really like to see Carey Mulligan win actress. So we shall see. Hey, Jason Bateman telling everyone to get their vaccine shot. First time we've heard about the pandemic in that way. Doing drama series ensemble. Better Call Saul. Ozark. Lovecraft Country. Interesting. Bridgerton. The Crown. I assume it's The Crown or Ozark because of all the goddamn award nominations that they get.
And the actor goes to...
The actor goes to...
The Crown.
The Crown. Naturally. See all the... It's got like 4 or 5 nominations outside of this one.
Tobias, Helena, Marion, Emma, Josh, Gillian, Erin, Emerald, Stephen, Freddie, Rebecca, Georgie...
Olivia Colman is delivering the... and she is delivering the acceptance. And she is just listing off a whole bunch of names. Kind of what I've been doing all night. Olivia Colman and I are the same person.
We'd like to say thank you very much, SAG-AFTRA, and to Peter Morgan for writing so many lovely parts. We all loved it. Let's do it again. And I think I speak for all of us. We'd all like to say thank you to our wonderful...
I love Olivia Colman. She's so lovely.
During this very peculiar year. We're very lucky in the UK to have you. Thank you all.
I also just quickly echo what Jason Bateman just said. Get a vaccine if you can. I can't get one yet, but I will be getting one as soon as I can. Because I just want to go back to the movie theaters, guys, and if we all get vaccinated, we can all go to the movie theater again. And, like, be outside. Imagine the world where we could be outside. All it takes is a vaccination to do that. Oh my goodness. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us. What are you thinking about these awards so far? Are they going the way that you would assume? I haven't seen a lot of these TV shows, so I can't speak to what the expectations are. But it seems like a lot of these are actually falling in line with the Golden Globes. I know that Gillian Anderson did win the Golden Globe for The Crown. So we'll see. We'll see how the rest of it goes. But I think this is pretty much how we all expected it would be going. I've been having this... It's been gnawing at me. I think I spelled Jason Sudeikis' name wrong. No, I don't want to open up a file Windows. I want to search this for Jason Sudeikis' last name. I did spell it wrong. Jason Sudeikis, if you ever watch us in the future, please know that this is not an insult. I respect you greatly as an actor, and I have now fixed this mistake. Just saying, me too, love her, watched her Oscars speech a million times, literally. Oh, speaking of Olivia Colman, yeah. I think the best part about that Oscar win too is that we really weren't expecting it. Like, it was a big ass surprise, and I can't remember who she was up against, who we all thought was going to win, but yeah, she had that kind of surprise like energy. Like, she couldn't believe what was going on, and just those are always the best acceptance speeches, except for Joaquin Phoenix from last year, because we all knew he was going to win, and then he delivered a wonderful, wonderful speech. I was kind of hoping that he would somehow get nominated for something this year, and just like he just wins an Oscar every year and is able to deliver kind of like an update on how fucked we all are if we don't make large changes in our lives in order to, like, you know, prevent climate change from happening. So I don't know. Maybe someone else will win this year who will do who will do the same thing. That would be nice. Dr. David saying there's a possibility that Frances McDormand might win actress because they might want to award Nomadland because it's only nomination. I don't know. Is that how the Screen Actors Guild thinks, though? Because it seems like you're thinking about it in terms of, like, they'll vote one way for the Screen Actors Guild and another way for the Oscars. If that's the way you're thinking about it, because I don't know if we consider Frances McDormand good for winning the Oscar. Like, she's certainly in contention, and winning here would push that up, but I don't think they're going to vote for her just because Nomadland doesn't have any other things. Oh my god. Cynthia Erivo's nails are fantastic. That is my hot take for the evening. Cynthia, y'all are watching at home, check out Cynthia Erivo's nails. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Oh, Zhao, yes. We all thought it was going to be Glenn Close, which is why... Oh my god, yeah. When is Glenn Close going to win an Oscar? Dory saying, my favorite acceptance speech was the little kid from Minari. Which award did the kid from Minari win? Because that wasn't the Golden Globes. Is that the Critics' Choice?
People are freezing constantly. They suddenly...
Oh, so now all of these actors are talking about what it's like to be on a Zoom call.
Progression that it feels like everybody goes on, right? There was the bewilderment at the beginning, and then in the
It's so funny when you're on a Zoom call and the other person freezes.
barely put a shirt on to be on a Zoom call. I can't be bothered.
The stream didn't freeze. That was me just making a joke. So we got outstanding performance by a female lead. So this is a film one. Frances McDormand, Nomadland.
And fragility, boldness, and uncertainty.
It's like my dad used to say, what's remembered lives.
As much
Viola Davis from Irani's Black Bottom.
Viola Davis's Ma Rainey will leave you sure you've met the mother of the blues.
And they're going to treat me the way I want to be treated, no matter how much it hurt them.
Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman. That is a good performance. I wish it was in a better film, but and I wish that Shia LaBeouf wasn't in this film. Shia LaBeouf was so close to like a comeback where we could all just love him again, and then it's just all fuck now. Fuck that guy. Amy Adams, Hillbilly Elegy, also nominated.
When I get out of here, I'm going to make a real home for us.
As the vengeful
Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman.
is confident, unforgiving, and utterly compelling.
Who gets it? Who gets it?
Nina Fisher.
Yeah, Glenn Close did lose again, so probably not getting an Oscar. But honestly, I don't think it's a role that she does, like, it doesn't deserve it. The award goes to
Viola Davis.
Viola Davis. Just like I thought.
Screen Actors Guild to actors. Thank you to George C. Wolfe and Denzel Washington.
Okay.
Jeremy Shamos, John
Sorry, Dr. David. Sorry, Zhao. It's not Carey Mulligan. Okay, so the kid from Minari won Best Newcomer in the Critics' Choice Awards. I wish I could have done a live stream for those, but they were on the CW, and I had no way of getting the CW to work properly on here. It would have meant doing like a pirate stream of it, and since those are very unreliable, I didn't want to take the risk.
Couldn't have been in better company. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Male actor in a leading role, also known as the Chadwick Boseman Award. Anthony Hopkins, nominated for The Father. I really need to see The Father. No, Zhao, don't leave. Gary Oldman, also nominated for Mank. Amanda Seyfried not being nominated for Mank is a damn shame. Stephen Yeun, Minari.
Tending to his family's needs while cultivating his lifelong dream.
There.
Why?
Because trees like water.
Riz Ahmed, Sound of Metal. Oh god, I would love, like, it's Chadwick Boseman, but god damn it, Sound of Metal is so good and he is so good in it. I think if Chadwick Boseman had not passed away, I think Riz Ahmed might actually win this award. They're both excellent performances. Maybe I'm just a little biased because like I'm into that type of music, and I can like relate to the hearing loss because I do have tinnitus. But man, so good in that. The award goes to Chadwick Boseman. Well deserved. Well deserved.
Is Chadwick's wife, Simone Ledwood Boseman.
Thank you, God. Thank you, Leroy and Carolyn Boseman. Thank you, August Wilson. Thank you, George C. Wolfe, Denzel, Todd Black, Ruben Santiago Hudson, Branford Marsalis. Thank you, Viola and Glenn and Michael and Coleman and Taylor and Dusan and Jerry.
Sorry, David. Anthony Hopkins will not swing this. He's already won his award. He has a shot because I think he's probably going to be acting for a couple of more years. He's probably acting until he dies, and I just think Chadwick Boseman winning a posthumous Oscar and it being his first Oscar, like, and the strength of his performance, you just can't beat that. All right, going back to commercial break. Zhao, good to see that you are still sticking around. I hope you're not actually crying out loud. It's okay. These are just awards for people who are way richer than all of us. So we shouldn't feel too bad when they lose. Yeah, and I agree. Chadwick did give a phenomenal performance in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Dory asking an interesting question. Who is a better actor right now, Jesse Plemons or Paul Dano? Off the top of my head, I would say Jesse Plemons. And I think that could be that Jesse Plemons is just getting more interesting roles. Although, you know, thinking off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything. But I've always liked Jesse. I was really into him in the Friday Night Lights TV show. I loved him in that show. He was good in Breaking Bad. And yeah, I just think he's got a bigger upside. Like, it may be unfair to say that Paul Dano has peaked already in his acting career. And I think maybe he's also going to start focusing on directing. I did see a film that he directed at TIFF 2018 or 2019, which was fine. And I think maybe that's where he's going to be putting his efforts into. So as far as who's going to have like the better acting career coming up, I would guess it's going to be Jesse Plemons. Simply because I think that's what he's focused on. Paul Dano, I think, might be focusing on being a director now. Dr. David saying Chadwick has the Oscar in the bag, 100%. The Golden Globe, the SAG, I assume he won the Critics' Choice as well, although I wasn't watching that. I should have looked that up. But yeah, he's got the Oscar. It would be such an upset if he lost. And I can only, like, and I wouldn't want to be the person who won instead of him. Because then you have to give an acceptance speech that you're not prepared for about how you're really thankful to win an award when the person that you were up against passed away tragically and has like one of the best life stories. Like the fact that Chadwick didn't tell anybody that he had cancer, that he kept acting so he could like fill out his legacy and also earn money for his family, and just kept going and kept going. It's, yeah. Imagine having to give an acceptance speech beating that person. Well, I would never do it. Even if it meant winning an Oscar, I just wouldn't want it. Probably just dedicate it to Chadwick immediately and be like, sorry, dude. Or just be like, you deserve this, not me. Dory saying Paul Dano is playing the Riddler in the new Batman movie. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's well suited for that. Although we all know that the best Riddler will always be David Tennant. And he will never get the chance to play it. But David Tennant as the Riddler would be the greatest thing in the world. And I'm so sad that we are never, ever going to get it.
I'm really excited about interacting with the casts of my TV shows as a producer.
What is Jesse Plemons going to be doing, though? I know that he just got announced for something pretty interesting.
Part of the fun of being able to interact with actors.
We also can't forget that Jesse Plemons was in Battleship. That's on his resume. So maybe I have to change. Maybe I have to change what I'm saying. Oop, wrong way. Okay, so yeah, he's been announced for doing Killers of the Flower Moon, which I believe is that new Martin Scorsese film. Yeah, really looking forward to that. And then also did Antlers, which I really, really want to see. And he was in Judas and the Black Messiah. Yeah, in The Irishman as well. He was in Vice, although Vice is not that great of a film. But yeah, I'm still gonna lean on Jesse Plemons, even though Paul Dano is the Joker. Ooh. Cast in a motion picture, One Night in Miami.
You all are a bright and shining future. You need to understand what is at stake here. We are fighting for our lives.
Looks like a good movie. Trial of the Chicago 7, which I believe is the odds-on favorite to win this.
You really think there's going to be a big audience?
I'm tired of hearing you. It would be impossible for me to care any less what you are tired of.
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Chadwick and Viola Davis did win, so it could be Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Minari. Viola Davis really transformed from Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I didn't realize that when I was watching it, but she looks very different. Like even just going back to her acceptance speech, she it's a kind of a stark contrast. To Five Bloods as well. So who's got it? Remember, the film that won this last year won Best Picture at the Academy Awards, so this ain't no small award.
And the actor goes to
The actor goes to
The Trial of the Chicago 7.
The Trial of the Chicago 7. Just like I thought it would.
God give us leaders, said the
I wonder if we're just not doing some of the awards on this, because we're 2 minutes away. And that was that's the big one. Because we still haven't done the stunt performance. And I don't believe we've done the stunt performance for TV. Yeah, are they just not going to televise that? Because we're at the end. I'll have to look that up. Maybe they announced it at some other time.
We need leaders to guide us toward hating each other less. We owe a debt of thanks to the voices of the
It's Frank Langella who's delivering the acceptance speech here. So what do you guys think? Does the Trial of the Chicago 7 winning this, especially winning over Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, mean that it has a shot at Best Picture? Or was it just the one that had the most... Was it just the film that had the most people and it felt like the most complete ensemble?
Okay. But hey, as Mr. Carter says,
And now we are finishing with a Ted Lasso thing. Yeah, what? We did not do stunt performance. What the hell? It would actually be really bad if they just left out Best Stunt Performance for time when they did so many of those longer things. Like, they very easily could have fit in 2 more awards. So let's see if they actually announced it. Come on, Us Magazine. Give me the scoop. Okay, so Yeah, they don't have anything up here for stunt, but they haven't updated this for performance by a cast in a motion picture. David saying it won't win anything at the Oscars. Really overrated movie. The Trial of Chicago 7. Yeah, yeah. I still wonder about Sacha Baron Cohen in the Best Supporting Actor. And Zhao's still going for Nomadland for Best Picture. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Like, it did win the Golden Globe. And I guess it really just comes down to who we think is going to win Best Director, because I think this year, considering it is a somewhat weak field, it makes a lot of sense for the Best Director winner to get the Best Picture as well, and that's going to be Nomadland. I think Chloe Zhao. I hope I just didn't totally fuck up that name. I think we're all looking at her as the odds-on favorite for Best Director. So, yeah, Chloe Zhao. Stunt went to Wonder Woman 1984. Where did they announce that? And I guess I'll update my ticker. But I feel like if they don't put it in their thing, then maybe I don't need to update my thing. If they don't care, why should I care? But of course we should all care, because stunt people are incredible people. Wonder Woman 1984. Anyone want to tell me who won Best TV Stunt? And then we can finish this ticker and have it be wonderfully complete. SAG Awards TV Stunt. Oh, 24 won the very first award in 2007 for that. And it won again. Oh, wow. Game of Thrones won it a bunch of years in a row. 2011 to 2017, and then was knocked off by Glow. And that's probably only because it just wasn't around in 2018. And it looks like The Mandalorian won best stunts. Hopefully that's from this year. Does that line up with the nominees? The Mandalorian? Okay, Zhao was telling me that. Cool. So now our work is complete. Awesome. Okay, so those are the awards. I guess we'll just quickly recap the winners. I have my own like text document open and I could just reference, but it'd be so much easier just to go to another thing. US magazine, Us Magazine. Wonderful news source for all things film related. This is not a sponsored stream by Us Magazine by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so the Variety Live updates took care of the SAG Awards. Still strange. Still super strange that they wouldn't put it on the broadcast. And like, that it's just going to turn it into a talking point. Like, I'm sure Twitter is ablaze right now talking about how stunt formers are being disrespected by not being included on the show where they very easily could have been. So, whew. Yeah. It's not yet book time, Dr. David, not yet, although very soon. I will give some final thoughts just going through the winners and how it's going to affect the Oscars. So we'll start off with the most obvious one, outstanding performance by a male actor in a leading role. Chadwick Boseman, 100% is not going to lose. It's just a lock. And then moving on to outstanding performance by a female actor in a leading role. We had Viola Davis winning the SAG award. I think it's probably going to be her for the Oscar. That would be my guess. I always have this thing about kind of believing the SAG Awards, because we know that the way that the awards structure of the Oscars is that you have general categories that's voted on by the entire Academy, like Best Picture. But when it comes to Best Actor, I believe those are only voted on by people who are in the acting branch of the Academy, and people who are in the directing branch can only vote on director. I think that's how that works. And so everyone who's in SAG-AFTRA is going to be in the acting wing of the Academy, with the exception of the fact that since SAG is an American union, that it's most likely only going to have American-based actors. I think that's actually one of the reasons why a lot of the cast of Parasite weren't individually nominated, but for some reason they were able to nominate it as an ensemble. So there is a contingent of international members of the Academy who would have not have had a voice if they're not a part of SAG. I think that's probably a very small amount of people and probably wouldn't move the needle either way on a nomination, but it could be a thing. But yeah, I'm thinking Viola Davis for best female lead makes a lot of sense. The one that I found very interesting tonight, actually there was two that I found very interesting, as far as the film awards go, is outstanding performance by a male actor in a supporting role going to Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah. I thought this was going to be Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of Chicago 7, and I feel like it still could potentially go to Sacha Baron Cohen, the Academy Award, but now I think we have to look at Daniel Kaluuya as being the frontrunner for this. And I don't believe... Let's look at the only thing I'm worried about now is if anyone else from Judas and the Black Messiah is in that category. Oscar nominations. Why did you open up an entirely new thing? Full list of nominees, variety. Let's just take a look at male supporting actor in a supporting role. Yeah, so Daniel Kaluuya won the SAG, but Lakeith Stanfield is also in the Oscar category, along with Paul Rassi for Sound of Metal. So the layout of this category is different than how the SAG Awards were lined up, which is also telling, because that means that essentially the same group of people, if we want to think of SAG as being the place where most of the votes for the Oscar are coming from because of the overlap between members of the Academy and members of SAG, they gave us different nominations. So there's always a chance that David Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield are going to split the vote because they're in the same movie, and that allows someone like a Sacha Baron Cohen or a Paul Rassi to win. In that case, I would give the edge to Sacha Baron Cohen because Trial of Chicago 7 is a Netflix film, and Netflix loves winning awards. But Sound of Metal is an Amazon Prime film, so maybe Amazon decides that they want to put a lot of money behind Paul Rassi. But I don't know. There's also the name recognition of Sacha Baron Cohen. So we'll see on that. I better hit the chat because, my goodness, a lot of stuff going on here. Zhao saying, thanks for the live reaction. Crying for my goddess. Don't cry. Don't cry. It's okay to cry. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't be, but just, these aren't the final awards. This isn't the Oscars yet. There's always a chance for your queen. Dory saying, rooting for Carey Mulligan at the Oscars. Yeah, I understand it. I just don't think it's going to happen. The Academy members in SAG, but there are other Academy members. Yes. Yeah. So Dr. David kind of echoing what I was saying before. Viola is a vote from American Academy members. Yeah. Yeah. And I think and the Academy is still mostly made up of Americans. We can't forget that. Dory did say that Daniel Kaluuya was a lock tonight. You did, Dory. I did not think it was going to go that way. Although as I just said, I don't know if it's going to go the same way for the Oscars, just because the difference between the categories. We can't ignore that. Viola Davis did win an Oscar before in 2017, but does that mean that she doesn't get it this year? So she's up against Carey Mulligan, Frances McDormand, Vanessa Kirby, and Andra Day. And I think if we were going to see an upset in this category, we would have seen the upset tonight. And of course, Andra Day being in this and having won the Golden Globe does put a little bit of a of a wrench into this, because we can't ignore the fact that she is being campaigned as right now as the Golden Globe winner, and she already has that accolade to go with it. So that's always an outside chance. But I still think it's Viola Davis, because like to me, if we just take Andra Day out of this conversation as a complete wild card, the next best one to win it is Frances McDormand, who has already won an Oscar as well. I think multiple Oscars actually. So the idea that Viola Davis is not going to win because she already has an Oscar doesn't make sense if we're then going to go to Frances McDormand as the favorite if it's not Viola Davis. So in the category being the way it is, I don't think the previous awards is really going to play into it, because we have two very strong actresses in the category who have already won Oscars before, and who you would probably assume are the front runners. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be Viola Davis. Dr. David saying Sasha has only one Golden Globe. Lakeith Stanfield is in supporting. Yet Lakeith Stanfield is in supporting, but so is David Kaluuya. Like they're both in supporting. For some reason they didn't separate the two. I know that I heard that they were promoting Lakeith Stanfield as the main and trying to get him into just best leading actor, but for whatever reason he ended up being nominated in the supporting role. I will say I'm not sure which way it was, but I'm almost certain that Daniel Kaluuya was being pushed for, one of the two was being pushed for best main, in the hopes of not and I believe the producers were doing that because they didn't want the vote to be split between the two of them in if they both were nominated for the same category. Leslie Odom Jr. should have won tonight. I still need to see One Night in Miami. That's on my list. They're all of these films are on my list. Nick saying, so no Fantasia this year, sir. No Blood in the Snow either. Blood in the Snow is in November, so there's a chance. Although, what is it? They did do something with Super Channel in Canada, which is kind of like our what's the best analogy for the Americans watching right now? You have HBO and you have Cinemax, I believe, in America. Super Channel is like the Canadian Cinemax. Blood in the Snow did do a thing with Super Channel where I think they just programmed like 7 or 8 films to be on Super Channel. I wasn't able to watch it because Super Channel is expensive and they don't have much good things on it. But it's a possibility. I may do Blood in the Snow again if it's around and if we're allowed to do it. I assume if TIFF goes forward, then Blood in the Snow is a possibility. Also, Toronto After Dark. I gotta believe that if TIFF is able to go forward, then After Dark will be able to as well. Especially if Ontario can like get its shit together and get all the vaccinations done by like, or get everyone their first vaccination by like June or July, like they're talking about, then yeah, I'm pretty sure After Dark will go ahead. But to those people who live in Toronto, they don't care about this. Oh, Carrie did win the Critics' Choice Award. That's interesting. Although the Critics' Choice Award it's obviously a good accolade to have and it helps create the story. But to me, they're kind of on the same level as the Golden Globes as far as predictors. Like if she had won the Golden Globe as well, and then had that going and had that momentum going and won the SAG tonight, then okay, I could start getting behind Carey Mulligan. But as it stands, excuse me. But as it stands right now, I don't see that being. I don't see it being Carey. I don't see it being Carey. At least, like once again, it's a really good performance. I just don't think that she's done enough to dethrone Viola Davis in my mind. Naturally, if we do the Cinemateq Oscar polls or whatever this year, where we all get to make a card and see who wins, which I think I'm gonna get that ready for there's two more live streams before the Oscars. There's the BAFTAs, which I think are next weekend, and then the Independent Spirit Awards, which is the day before. So hopefully by the time the Independent Spirit Awards come around, I'll have a card for us all to play along with to see who is truly the best at the Oscars. And I did lose last year, which was annoying. Frances won't win, and Nomadland will win Best Picture, and typically Best Actress and Best Picture don't get aligned. Yeah. Typically, alignment is only really between Best Director and Best Film. So that is true. And then yes, but I think they like Viola more. Carrie isn't very popular among actresses, and also it's a dark role and not Oscar friendly. Viola Davis is much more Oscar friendly. 100%. And we also can't ignore the fact that Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is Netflix, and Netflix just throws money at this kind of stuff. Like, they want Oscars because they want the platform to become more legitimate. It's one of the reasons why they've done so much work with TIFF. They want to be seen as a major player in the film industry, as someone to be taken seriously. And the more that they're able to pull off these kinds of wins, the more they're able to cement their position in the industry as being a place where award-worthy productions are made and released. Nick asking, Maria Bakalova lost tonight. You think she might still take the Oscar? What are her chances? So we didn't actually get to that category when I was going through this recap. So now's as good a time as any. For outstanding performance by a female actor in a supporting role, it was Yoo Jun-yeon from Minari who won. I had thought that Maria Bakalova was going to win this, but that's really only on the strength of the Golden Globe. And for those of you who can remember who won the Critics' Choice category for this category, please let me know in the chat. Because if that was also Yoon Jun-yeon, then maybe we can start drawing the through line as to how this category is going to go. But yeah, I like, now that Maria Bakalova has not won the SAG, I kind of have to assume that it's Yoon Jun-yeon who is the favorite to win the Oscar. I always tend to believe the SAG Awards, even though they've burned me. They definitely burned me last year on at least one category. And it must be said, Glenn Close is in this category. So there's always the chance that the Academy voting members decide to give Glenn Close her Oscar. And I don't want it to be for Hillbilly Elegy. Just like I didn't want Martin Scorsese's first Oscar for Best Director to be for, was it Hugo or Departed that he won his first one for? But like, he should have won it, like, you know, for Raging Bull as an example. Like, that should be the one that he should have won for. And I feel like Glenn Close, if she's going to win her first Oscar, it needs to be for like a knockdown, like, fuck you type of performance. Like, I just want to see Glenn Close win for, like, when she wins, and I think that she will eventually win, I want everyone to look at that and say, this is not a legacy award for her. She was the best this year. I don't want her to have that asterisk beside her name when she eventually does win one. I just want her to win when she's at her best, and then when she's clearly better than everyone else. And that is not the Hillbilly Elegy performance, not by any stretch of the imagination. So going back to this question, Yoo Jun-yeon, yeah, that's who I have to go with. Maybe my opinion will change when I eventually watch The Father. And I think that Helena Zengel is she's 12 years old. Like, she's too young to win an Oscar right now. News of the World is a Netflix film, I believe, but I have to imagine that this is just not what they're focused on. And also, Hillbilly Elegy is also a Netflix film. So if Netflix is putting any kind of money or influence into this category, it's going to be for Glenn Close. So, Yoon Jun-yeon for Minari threw a wrench into my plans, but I'm happy for her. Let's see. It's a shame, but Oscars don't often reward the best. Oh, very true. Very, very, very true. Just look at Green Book. What the fuck was that? That was definitely not the best movie of the year. Maria Bakalova won Critics' Choice, but don't think she'll win the Oscar. Oh, so she won She won a Golden Globe and a Critics' Choice, but didn't win SAG. Yeah, I think SAG is a better indicator because of the people who are voting. That's interesting. It's interesting. Still though, like I'm still gonna go with Yunjin Yun. I'm gonna follow SAG on this one. Maybe my mind will change after I watch both Borat and Minari, but I have a feeling that this is going to be Yunjin Yun. Olivia dropping the bomb gave me lots of faith for Carrie. Didn't watch The Wife that year, so can't tell whether that would have deserved or not. Glenn Close in The Wife was good. Like Glenn Close is a very capable actress, and she often puts in like a very good performance. I think you could rightly say that Olivia Colman put in the better performance. But once again, we were all caught up in this idea that Glenn Close did enough to, and like her legacy of always losing, that was going to be what was going to put her over the top. It wasn't that her performance in The Wife was like a knockdown, shut the fuck up, I'm the best actress in the world performance. It was good. It was certainly worthy of a nomination, but I think looking back, we can all kind of agree that Olivia Colman should have won. And it's one of the reasons why we were all kind of excited when it happens, because the Oscars got it right. It was the same thing when they gave Best Picture to Moonlight. We were happy because they got it right. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I just can't convince myself that Glenn Close wins this category. And I can't convince myself of Carey Mulligan for best lead actress. Like to be perfectly honest, having seen Pieces of a Woman and having seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and Hillbilly Elegy, I still have not seen Nomadland yet, but that'll be happening soon. Of the four performances that I've seen in this category, I would not put like Carey Mulligan is third out of the four that I've seen. She certainly did better than Amy Adams in Hillbilly Elegy, but both Viola Davis and Vanessa Kirby were better in their respective films. And I kind of wish that people were talking a bit more about Vanessa Kirby's thing. Like that, for people who haven't seen Pieces of a Woman, the first 30 minutes of the film, 35 minutes of the film is a one shot. And it's Vanessa Kirby like going through labor and giving birth. And I won't spoil anything beyond that, but it's a very emotional sequence. And I can only imagine what it's like to act for half an hour straight. And it's something as emotional as giving birth, and she did really, really well. I think maybe the one thing that kills that performance is maybe the fact that she's with Shia LaBeouf the whole time. Also, her, what was it? Was it the baby or was it her pregnant stomach that looked really fake? But I mean, that's not related to her performance, so that shouldn't be something that holds her back. These days the Oscar goes to the best campaign rather than the best performance. Oh yeah. And that's been true for a long time. Super long time. And that's going to be the case for years to come. Really, the most important thing that we should be looking at is just the people who get nominated. And then also, once again, having to talk about the people who were snubbed, like Kelly Reichardt for First Cow, and everyone else who was rightly deserving to be nominated. The Assistant was another one. I probably wouldn't have given it any acting awards, but the fact that they couldn't figure out a way to put that and First Cow into Best Picture when there are two spots open is kind of lame. So yeah, and don't worry, I won't spoil the movie. I don't spoil movies on this channel when I'm live streaming. I don't do it. Also, just want to say thank you because there's like still 8 people hanging out watching this live stream, and the award show ended 25 minutes ago. So thank you everyone for sticking around, for joining. One of the current goals of this channel are to get monetized. And for those of you who are a little unfamiliar with YouTube, you need to get to 1,000 subscribers, which we're 680 away from. So that's going to take a little bit of time still. But we also need to get to 4,000 hours watch time. And for all of you who like stick around and like watch this whole thing with me, you're here for an hour and a half. It really does help. The watch time really, really helps. So I appreciate your support and I appreciate you guys sticking around. And I hope that, yeah, and I hope that we can continue this in the future and just continue to grow this channel out. And there will be new content coming out on the channel very soon. It's been a motivation problem, not an idea problem. Let's see. I watched Pieces of a Woman. For me, Vanessa's performance is good, like you said about Glenn, worth a nomination, but I didn't really see many textures except for the highlight moment of her yelling. Yeah, that's a fair assessment. And I think it also, like, something we have to remember here is that Pieces of a Woman is nominated once, I think, for the Oscars. Like, Vanessa Kirby's performance is the only strong thing about it. I think I remember at TIFF. I can't remember who the reviewer was. It was someone on YouTube who was just like, "This is like one of the best movies of the year," and I couldn't help but just be like, "It's really not." And it did premiere at TIFF. It did have a great performance in it, but then it just didn't have anything else, which is strange because it has like it does have Shia LaBeouf, who at the time was enjoying a bit of a comeback. He was in a couple of very good films that came out last year. And then this film also had Ellen Burstyn in it, which, she's just someone that always is in kind of nomination Oscar kind of talks when she's involved in a film, especially a film like this. Oh, Benny Safdie was in that film as well. I forgot about that. And Sarah Snook as well. Sarah Snook is low-key like a personal favorite of mine. I really love her. If you haven't seen Predestination, go check that out. That's a damn fine movie. But they're just, yeah, Pieces of a Woman, there just wasn't anything in it beyond Vanessa Kirby that I could really latch on to and say that was great. So perhaps Vanessa Kirby's chances are pulled down by being in a unremarkable film. When you say long time, I think only 20 years, referring to campaigns. With the way that the film industry is set up, especially when I watch and these are not the best sources, but when watching Hollywood films from like the 30s, 40s, and 50s, where they're talking about the nature of Hollywood and how it's set up and how everyone's so close knit and how it's a very tight knit community, I have to assume that campaigns existed, just not in the way that we know them, like not the modern campaign. But I wouldn't be surprised if back then, in the 30s and 40s, I wouldn't be shocked if I had learned that there was like a high profile producer who was like, okay, you want to work in these films? Well, you want to continue working for my studio? Then you better, vote for these people. I would not be surprised if there was like a push for block voting based on studio allegiance and things like this. So while the campaigns have changed, I think if we were to go back, we would probably find that some of that same kind of stuff was going on. You haven't seen Pieces of a Woman yet, so now you know the first half hour. I mean, I've told you the premise of the first half hour. That would be like letting you know that there's like a fight scene at the beginning of a superhero film. Doesn't spoil much because I'm not telling you what happens at the end of that first half hour, which is the driving force of the film. Oh, and I just remembered that last, oh my God, the last like part of that scene near the end of Pieces of a Woman, just I really hated it. Ugh. Nick saying, do you think Shia LaBeouf would have been an award winner with Pieces of a Woman this year if he didn't get in such hot water with his private life? I don't think so. Let's take a look at the Best Actor Supporting Role. I don't think his performance is better than anything listed here of what I've seen. And it looks like both performances from Judas and the Black Messiah were excellent. So I don't think that I don't think he would have. I would have been I'd be shocked actually if he got nominated for this, because like I said, Vanessa Kirby is the standout in that film. She is the reason that you would be watching that film. And yeah, I just don't think Shia LaBeouf would have gotten it. Nobody knows who Vanessa Kirby is, so she'll be a nominee only. I think she's got a bit more notoriety than you give her credit for, especially after her turn in the latest Mission Impossible film. Like, people might not know that that's Vanessa Kirby, but they know, like, they know her. I don't know. I don't know if that's the best way of describing it. But and she's done like a couple of other notable things. Like, she's getting in more stuff. So she was in The Crown. She was in the latest Mission Impossible film, and she's going to be in Mission Impossible 7 and 8. She was also in that Fast and the Furious movie with Hobbs and Shaw. So she's been in like two of the biggest action films of the last 2 years, right? So I think she was in Kill Command. Really? Oh, that movie's terrible. That's a movie I saw. Oh wow, she's like one of the top billed people in that. I saw that when I was working at a job where I was doing quality control on films before they go to platforms like iTunes and Netflix. Yeah, I'm surprised that she was in that. So I guess maybe that kind of plays to what you were saying, Dr. David, about her notoriety, about her star. Like, she really isn't that well known in film circles up until like 2 years ago. So she doesn't have that kind of legacy going for her, like Amy Adams or Glenn Close. So yes, I will say yes to your point from that perspective. But I think people have a pretty good idea about her now. But maybe she just doesn't have the track record of turning in like excellent performances, even though she's great in Mission Impossible 7 or Mission Impossible 6. Yes. Probably, well, one of the good things about that movie. And there's a lot of good things about that movie. I was saying Ellen is a legend, truly a legend. And I mean, she did win her Oscar for Requiem for a Dream, so she probably doesn't need to win another one, because I don't think anything that she does will ever be better than that. Because that was a stunning performance. I don't understand why people can't vote for what they think is the best and not be swayed by campaigners or do favors for people. I don't get it. Yeah, it's befuddling, certainly. I don't know what to tell you. We don't live in a meritocracy, and we never have, and that applies to society writ large. Those who often deserve the accolade do not get it. And I like you, I wish that we could just look at the Oscars as being this kind of objective thing where, you know, the best performances, the best people win, because they are essentially the record in a lot of people's minds to what was the best. Like, I remember watching the Oscars growing up, and so many of the films that were nominated I would never see or had not seen up until that point. But when they win, that's when I know about them. And I didn't know enough about the Academy Awards growing up that there was this kind of campaigning going on. I didn't know enough to be able to look at someone winning and saying, "Oh, well, they didn't deserve it." Because what the hell did I know about acting at the age of 15? What the hell do I know about acting at the age of 35? You know, I'm mostly just comparing every performance I've seen to every other performance I've seen, and that's how I'm sort of judging things based on good or bad. So, yeah, I don't know. One of the other things, if we want to just look at the campaigning issue, look at it from a slightly different light, one of the ways that I can think about things or people or whatever being undeserving of the award that they get, one of the things that I can sort of say to myself in my head is that maybe they see something that I don't, because I am not an actor, right? So in the case of, and we'll just use acting as an example. As I just said, I really only judge acting performances based off of other performances that I've been told are good. So if someone's performance is good, I'm just saying that because it reminds me, or it is as good, if not better, than other performances that I have been told are good. But an actor is aware of the mechanics of everything that's going on, everything that the actor is doing. And they're able to look at performances and say, oh, they're doing this. And I understand how they're doing it. And that's very difficult to do. And I, as someone who is not an actor, would not be able to look at a performance and understand it on that kind of mechanical professional level. In the same way, when it comes to cinematography, I can look at a film and say, that's beautiful. But a cinematographer might look at a film and say, yeah, that's beautiful, but that's not hard. Or that's beautiful, but it's not the best way of perhaps doing something. Or, you know, like I'm sure there's just like little things about the, I keep saying mechanics, but it's a good word for it. The mechanics and the how things are done that are sort of foreign to people who are not working in the industry. And even myself, you know, I've worked in the industry and I've seen a bunch of films. Battery exhausted. What the hell? Okay. I guess you guys can still hear me, right? Okay, so I guess the camera decided to die. What the heck? Well then. I guess the only thing that I can say now is that my camera has decided to not continue. So I think that's probably a good reason to stop. And now I'm very worried about the Oscars and how this camera is going to hold up for that. So that'll be something to investigate. I'll just say thank you everyone for joining. I hope you had a wonderful time, and I will see you at the BAFTAs. That'll be the next time we do a live stream. So make sure to follow on Twitter at Cinemateq with an underscore. Follow me on Letterboxd for little tiny reviews, and keep an eye on the channel because I'm actually, wait, hold on. Maybe I can just change my video. Yeah, wait, I can just use my other shitty webcam, I think. So change to my integrated webcam. Unfortunately, it's going to be up my nose and not look very good. Oh man, yes. Yes, look at this. Look at that handsome fellow. All the way up my nose. Can you just see how the other camera was so much better than this? Oh my god. But yeah, I guess just to, and everyone's probably leaving now. But I'll just say, based on my, just finish my thought there. I think in a lot of categories, we just don't know the mechanics of it. We don't really know how a professional would think about some of these things. So, yeah, I'm just going to go through the chat quickly, make sure that I answer anything and talk about anything. There is a preferential ballot now for the Oscars, which makes it unpredictable. I believe that's only in the Best Picture category, though. Justice for Delroy Lindo, I agree. He did really well in The Five Bloods. At the end of the day, we're only movie fans, not necessarily making our preferences better than others. True, true. The Macho Aryan failed to garner a single Oscar nomination despite critical praise and several nods to the Golden Globes. That is true. It did come into the race late, though. I believe it was released publicly in like February. You know, it didn't. Critics were able to see it, but I think one of its issues, and I think The Father kind of suffers from this as well. Like it is Olivia Colman and it is Anthony Hopkins getting nominated for Oscars, but it wasn't available until March, I think. So yeah, I still need to see The Macho Aryan though. And people just being like, you can still hear me, and now you can see me, and it looks like this. Still 5 people here. Pretty great. Pretty great. See you at the BAFTAs or any other content? Yes, I did say this before, but I'll just reiterate it. I'm going to be doing a YouTube short for every category. Oh wait, I should be looking down at this camera. I'm still looking at the one up here. I'm going to be doing a YouTube short for each category once I see all of the films in that category. So I would love to like have one coming out every day leading up to the Oscars. But yeah, keep a lookout for those. And then I'm also planning out longer content. Stuff that I want to do. I want to do just a long form video essay on Costa Gavras's Zed, I love that film. I've been wanting to talk about it for a long time. Still want to do a video about the male gaze in Never Sometimes or Never Rarely Sometimes Always. And I have a few other ideas kicking around as well. I also, I can't actually, yeah, I guess I can't show the cover, but I have picked up a couple of film books. One of them is a reader. It's like 900 pages long, and it has a lot of the most famous articles about film in it, from film academia. And I'm going to be using it as a resource. And I think I'm going to try and pull some ideas from that. A lot of good stuff in there. And I also have a few other books. I have one. Once again, I can't show the cover, but it's about architecture in like how you film architecture and how you can take photographs of architecture. And I'm kind of interested in reading through that. And I want it to connect up with like the Kurosawa's the films that he made that were contemporary, so like Ikuru or High and Low. I think looking at that would be really good. Death by Hanging would also be really great. I think there's something about the architecture of Tokyo in the 60s that comes through in those films that if, you know, depending on what the person in the book talks about and how they relate, I think that could be really interesting as well. So yeah, Dory saying peace, but I still see you in the chat. You're still here. Zhao saying won't watch BAFTA because Carrie got snubbed. God damn it! You know what? Since this is our live stream, it's all of our live streams. We can just say that Carrie Mulligan has won the BAFTA. That she was so good that she just wins the BAFTA. We can decide that. We can decide that. Maybe there should be a Cinemateq award show. You know, I keep doing live streams for Cinemateq, but maybe I should do my own award show, and then people get mad at me for the choices that I make. Dory saying Calm with Horses, my favorite BAFTA nominated film. I have not seen it. I have not seen it, but I'll put it on the list. That'll have to be on the post-Oscar list, though, because I have a lot of films to watch. David saying, come on, Zhao, come and join the fun. We'll miss you. Yeah, that's what I mean. We're a group now. We all hang out together and talk about awards. This is what we do. Dr. David, you have a PhD in film studies. God damn. You went one step further than I did. I only have I'm a lowly master of the arts in film preservation, not even in film studies, but my bachelor's is in film studies theory and criticism. I honestly I don't know if there's anything you could do. I always like keeping things on this channel very much, you know, coming out of this brain. But if there's any, I don't know, like it's the way that these YouTube communities work, right? I ask the audience what they want to see, and I try to fulfill on that promise. So if there's anything that you would like to see, especially because I'm sure you're aware of what is said in other film channels, if there is a topic that you feel like hasn't really been touched on and that you would like to see a video on, knowing that I have the academic background to actually go a bit more in depth or to tackle a subject in a more academic way, you know, I would love to hear that suggestion. You know, you can put it in the chat, you can leave a comment on one of the videos. If anything, you know, tickles your fancy and you think that I would be a good person to actually tackle that subject, yeah, that would be a great way of doing that. Also, congrats on your PhD. It's something that I was very seriously considering doing, but I couldn't get my head around 7 more years of school. I finished my master's degree when I was 29, and I just couldn't think about finishing at the age of 36. I would still be doing my PhD right now if I had started right after my master's. The other option was doing it in England, which PhDs only take 3 years in England, but then I'd have to move to England, and that really wasn't something I wanted to do anyways. Let's do a Cinemateq show. We can all vote for the winners. Oh, interesting. I think maybe that'll be something we can try next year, because hopefully we'll have a bit of a bigger viewer base by then. Not to say that I don't want to hear what all of your favorite things are, but if it's just 5 or 6 people voting, not as much. Doctor, you got some social media I can follow you? Yeah, you know, oh my God, PhD in engineering. Jesus Christ. I didn't think that there was two doctors in the chat just casually talking about cinema. My goodness. No, that's awesome though. Congratulations to you both. Dr. David saying Zed is good, and so is Battle of Algiers. Yes, Battle of Algiers is excellent, and I actually just read. It's a fiction book. What is it called? Tomorrow They Won't Dare Murder Us. It just came out on Verso. It's a book publisher, and it's about a man getting arrested for trying to blow up, a shed essentially where he works as part of a broader communist revolution type tactic. Essentially something that happened during the quote unquote battle of Algiers. And I was wondering if, that book does some interesting stylistic things, both with memory and also with how it constructs its narrative in terms of form. It's kind of similar to Cormac McCarthy, in that you have to pick up on who's talking based on context. There's no quotation marks to denote someone talking. And so you're just basically picking up from context, but it's also shifting between characters' points of views in a very fluid way. So I'm wondering if I were to go back and watch Battle of Algiers, having just finished that book, if it would color me, or if there would be a link, because I think, I'm sure that the person who wrote this book has seen the Battle of Algiers, so yeah. And it's once again, it's just a very, very good film, one of the all-time best. So I think with that all said, I will bid you all adieu finally. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, turn on the notifications. If you could like this video as well, that would be a big help. The likes are one of the ways that YouTube knows that people enjoyed the content. And I'll see you for the BAFTAs. And keep an eye out on the Cinemateq Twitter, because that is where I put up the links. Or you can just subscribe and turn on your notifications. And that'll be good. Thank you again. Dr. David just quickly saying it was an influence on Zed, Battle of Algiers. Good to know. I've seen Zed a ton of times. I've only seen Battle of Algiers once, so I haven't made that connection, but that also makes a lot of sense. Okay, I will see you all later. I'll talk to you all later. And I hope you have a wonderful evening and a wonderful week. And get vaccinated, gosh darn it. Do it as quickly as possible. Now I have to do that awkward thing where I look for the thing that turns off the stream. Oh, here it is. Good night, everybody. Have a good week. Talk to you later.